Anyway, welcome to the first interview of You Can Change the World. This is a forum that... First interview, you're the very first and most famous of the lot. So this is really a forum that we've created.
Everyone else was busy making money.
It's true.
I'm unemployed.
Well,
unemployable.
Hardly. Anyway, we are three young, aspiring MBA graduates who came up with a bright idea to... and as entrepreneurs in our own rights, we really wanted to find some successful entrepreneurs such as yourself, and the idea is really to elevate them to a rock star status. And there are a lot of young entrepreneurs out there who we feel need good role models and who sometimes could do with a bit of inspiration. So that's what this is.
But you mentioned role models. It's a big problem, especially in South Africa, where there is a huge sense of entitlement, and
yes.
where being a Tsotsi is actually considered cool in the media,
yeah.
And you know, to be a gangster in a township is actually considered a cool option.
Yeah.
So we are seriously lacking in role models. This thing about getting rich quick, and then of course the story of internet solutions. You know, people say, "Yeah, but you guys, you know, grew so fast." Yes, and we were very lucky, and I thank God for that. But it's not like this business is a sound, solid business based on strong fundamentals. The fact that it happened so quickly was a lot of luck, but there was something real here, you know. And this place has been going; it's in its 17th year now, and it's a pressure cooker. I mean, yeah. People are talking about making businesses this big in 1 week. You know, it's just not. It's not something that is possible, and I think the internet has distorted people's perception of how long things take. And one of my mentors always said to me that an overnight success takes 20, 30 years.
So you mentioned IS has had some very good success, but it's been built on some very strong fundamentals. What were those fundamentals?
Let's just talk about the luck of IS.
Okay.
Because a lot of people say, gee, you guys got so lucky. So, yeah, we did. What was our luck? And between all of us, it was a very well-oiled machine. There were enough parts in the machine to make it work. And our luck was that there were a bunch of like-minded guys that loved technology. None of us read an article and said, oh, there's a gap in the market. Dave was an electrical engineer, my brother was a CA, Tom and I were computer science graduates, Andres was a computer science. Oh. And I give people the analogy, like, I could cross the street tomorrow and meet the woman of my dreams. That's luck. But making the marriage work's got nothing to do with luck. That's hard work, sacrifice. The fact that all of us were together at the right time, with all these parts of the machine was luck. But within 6 months of us starting out, we had about 20 competitors with deeper pockets than us, most of them. From IBM to Telkom to Vector, it didn't end. How come after 2 or 3 years we had an 80% market share? That had nothing to do with luck. So there was no luck in that. Any one of those guys could have given us a run. But I'd say that there was a much more genuine sense of purpose when we started out. There was this blind optimism, this idealism, this innocence, and everyone just worked flat out. Nobody knew where the money was ever going to come from. We effectively almost went bankrupt in the first year. We used to beg people to give us that chance. And sometimes, they'd all challenge us. I'd say, so many people challenge us. And sometimes I would say, look, I'm not going to go with you guys. I don't feel comfortable. You're a bunch of kids. You don't know what you're doing. I said, fine. I never gave up. 3 months out, I called the guy. Not even 3 months. 3 days, 3 hours out, I called the guy. You haven't changed your mind. And sometimes just persistence and tenacity, just, you know. And also then, we had a lot of happy clients. And those people were our best asset. Still are. You know, the happy clients multiplied. We'd get references. We were so good at that day. We did it on purpose. I mean, how did we get that market share? Well, we definitely worked, in my opinion, just my opinion, longer hours than anyone. I mean, I don't know anyone who looks as tired as I do. I think we attracted the best brains in the country at that time because of this crazy culture and this frenetic pace. And some people who just loved it, you know. Not everyone loved it. A lot of people came here and didn't fit in. What else? I think we spent every cent we had. That was part of my job. My brother Dave used to fight me. I just spent everything. New furniture, new equipment, new people, new games, new gadgets. Whatever we could spend it on, I would spend it on. But create part of the vibe. I never was a money-oriented guy, and our idea was to create magic, and we had to reinvest all the time. You know? I've never been good at negotiations, so I left that to my brother and Dave. We didn't just call people back, but I made it sure that we called every client at least once a week, even if you had nothing to say to them. Just to say, have a good weekend and how things going. Never ask, are you happy? In fact, you never ask, are you unhappy? Don't say, I just phoned to see that if there's any problems. If you say, I'm phoning to see if there's any problems, they're going to find one.
Yeah.
Don't say that. It was professional culture. We were responsive. We were fast on response. We were proactive. We didn't bullshit anyone. We had a lot of fun with people. I think we built up a good trust. Where that came from, I don't know, it must be our parents. You can't say, I paid you, therefore be professional. If the guy's got a bad attitude, you can pay him $1 billion a day. If he's got a bad attitude, he's got a bad attitude. So to pay for someone to be, to expect someone to be responsive, it's like they must have a sense of it at the start, and it needs to be nurtured and encouraged, and you need to build a culture.
What was driving it though? What was that big initial goal?
What is that purpose?
For me, it was never about money. This is all I knew how to do. Here was a chance to do something magical. I know it sounds ridiculous and over-romantic, but I am a bit of an over-romantic guy. Dave Frankel came with a much more business frame of mind. My brother came with a very strong inclination towards making money, and you require all those elements to make a business. If everybody's an engineer, business doesn't make money. So I would go out there and excite people. Tom would back me up. Dave Frankel would go in there and excite them some more and say, but we need 10 grand a month from you. And my brother would say, we need a long contract. And all those three things make the business valuable.
Yeah.
Those long-term contracts is what you could evaluate the business. I don't know, it was some God-given talent. I don't know how a bunch of young guys knew how to create the foundations of a real business.